Come spend the day with me as I clean, decorate, and organize some different spaces in our house. We recently built this small closet in our hallway that is right off of the kitchen that leads into the pantry, and where I'm standing at now is actually on top of the cellar access, so below all of this is our cellar. We had this small area in the corner here that wasn't being used, and I wanted to use every space in this house that we can, so we decided to build a closet here for all of our cleaning supplies because we previously didn't have anywhere to store all of our cleaning supplies. They were just strung around the house everywhere. So now we have one closet where I can keep all of our cleaning supplies, and it is just consolidated in one spot. Part of renovating a house and living in it while you're renovating, I honestly love it because it gives me time to think about everything that I want in a house that I don't already have. And this closet was one of those examples, as well as the bigger pantry. I honestly could not imagine having to build a house and feeling the pressure of knowing exactly what you want and having to put it on blueprints, because we lived here for 3 years now, and I am constantly thinking of new ways and new ideas that I want to change and that I want to do to make this house better fit us. And this closet is just the perfect example because it was going to be a useless space. There was going to be just this little cubby over here that nothing was going to sit in. So we decided to box it in, put a door on it, and make it a closet. And it is the perfect spot for a closet, honestly. It's just right off the kitchen. It's very universal in the house, just to where all the cleaning supplies can go, and it just makes it so handy to have. Since finishing the pantry, everyone wants to know what our next room is going to be to work on in the house, and we're actually not going to work on anything in the house. We have to build Ben a shop, but we're just going to build it in one of the bays of the barn. Hopefully that makes sense. It's going to be a 16 by 16 shop that we're going to build a floor, walls, we're going to insulate it. It's going to be climate controlled. We're going to put windows and a heater and air conditioning in there, so it will be the perfect place to store all the tools, and that's why we can't put the tools out there right now. They're currently stored in our master bedroom downstairs in the house. The room is full of nothing but tools, so all of those need to be put in the barn, but we can't right now because the barn is not climate controlled, and whenever it rains, the rain will blow in on the ends and get stuff wet, so we just cannot risk ruining our tools out there. So we need to get this shop built so that we can move all the tools from the master bedroom out to the barn, and then we think our goal is to at least get the living room done this year, but the master bedroom, it is going to take a lot of money to fix, and we're just not sure if we're going to be able to do that this year. So what our plan is to move all the living room furniture that we have currently and put it into the master bedroom and use the master bedroom as our living room while we actually renovate the living room. So whenever the living room is complete, then we can just move everything from the master bedroom into the living room. Hopefully all that makes sense, but essentially what we're going to be doing is building a shop in the barn to put the tools, and then we're going to be focusing on the living room next. So I know on Instagram I previously said the master bedroom, but right now that is just not going to be feasible for us. The floor in the master bedroom, we've got to completely redo all that because the back section of the room has sunk and it is very, very off level. So we have to go, and I think we're going to tear out the floor is what we're going to do. If we don't tear out the floor, then we're going to shim the floor and build a new floor over top. But I don't know how that would work because then it would make the trim crooked. So we're trying to address all that and really take our time and think about it. So that's why we are going to be working on the living room first and not the master bedroom. Here's a look at the pantry hallway. So I'm standing in the kitchen right now. This is the old pantry door, and like there's my kitchen cabinet thing. But this is where the corner pantry used to be. So the wall used to be right here, and we knocked this down, and then it opened up all this, and this was actually cut out for the cellar access, and there was just a big hole there. There was nothing covering it. So we built a hatch door and then laid the flooring over top and stuff. So this floor is not sealed yet. We still need to do that, but we have to wait on the house to get warmer. Right now it is just way too cool. Like right now it is snowing. It is snowing outside, so it is really cold. I think it's like 19 degrees outside, and it's only about 65, 66 in here in the house. But that is like the last, like, but that is like the bottom of the temperature on the can. I think it's like 62. So I want to wait until it gets a little bit warmer just so I can make sure that they cure right, because you do need like a certain level of humidity and stuff, and right now our house is so dry. So we're gonna wait a little bit, which is fine. It'll give us plenty of time to finish up the rest of the work in here, because we still need to lay baseboards. We have to put this trim back up around the pantry door, and then we need to go get another sheet of this beadboard because it goes right here on the top part, and we still have to frame this out. A lot of people thought it was like a solid beam and they were saying leave it exposed on Instagram, but there's like a hole through it. It's built weird, so it's like studs on studs on studs, if that makes sense. So there's like holes in between, and it just does not look good in person. So we are going to be covering that up with a, we're going to like box it in essentially, and then we have to finish trim right here. But we did go ahead and build the closet. I showed this on the community tab on YouTube. I shared it on Instagram, so I was like, well, I should share that on YouTube too. So I don't ever think about the community tab often on YouTube, but if you guys like updates, then let me know and I'll keep updating you guys there with things that I post on Instagram. But this right here, we just had this door out in the barn, and on Instagram again, everybody voted for it to be green. I did green or white because it was originally white, it just needed a fresh coat. So they said green to match the pantry, so we did green. But it truly turned out to be the perfect cleaning closet because it's such a small space, but it was perfect to build a cleaning closet just because we had nowhere else for our cleaning supplies to go. We still have to finish the trim in here also, and whenever I seal the floors, I'll just pull this stuff out on the floor and finish sealing them. But this is what we have in here, and I'm gonna hang my broom on this door just because it already has the holes to hang, and I kept the original hook off of it, so I'm going to put that back up and put my broom on the door. And then over here are vacuums. I didn't do the shelves. A lot of people said that they liked them natural on Instagram, so I'm going to give it time and see if I like them natural or if I should paint them white. Let me know what you guys think. So they are still natural for now, so I did just go ahead and put the stuff on them so I could be using this space. If I decide to paint them one day, then I will just pull everything out and paint them really quick. While I do dishes, I thought I would go ahead and finish up what I was saying about the house. So what we plan on doing this year, and I haven't even mentioned it to Ben, but I've found that I love having the kitchen and the pantry done and not having to worry about finishing up little projects in there. So I really want to go back to the rooms that we've already completed, like the dining room and the entryway. The entryway is not really done. It's probably halfway done. But the dining room, it's more so finished and we've already been living in it and using it. But I want to go back and finish the trim as well as the ceiling and just complete those rooms. And that way I don't have to worry about other rooms while I'm currently working on a room, if that makes sense. So I feel like I cannot focus on one room because I've started all these projects, and instead of finishing it all the way through, I went ahead and started on a new room. So it makes it hard to focus on one space because there's something else like constantly pulling my attention away, and I don't like that. So right now, while I'm trying to focus on the entryway, well, I'm like, I need to go back and finish the dining room actually. So I want to get it to where all these rooms are finished completely. That way I can put my full mental and creative energy into one space at a time, and that way I can put my full attention on it and I don't have to worry about trying to figure out how I'm going to do this in another space. It's just, it gets to be too much and it can be overwhelming. And that's why I love renovations though, because I can stop and address this and I'm not trying to do a whole house at one time. I just need to break it down and do one room at a time. So I'm actually going to walk through the house with pen and paper, and I'm going to write down every little thing that I need to go back and finish. So I know in the entryway I need to finish the plaster, I need to finish, there's a small section of trim that needs repaired, I need to do the ceiling, we need to hire somebody to do the wallpaper if I cannot do it myself. And then in the dining room we have to finish the trim, and I need to finish the ceiling in there. So there's a lot that needs to be done. It's just small things that need finished up, but that would just make the space completed, and it would clear up a lot of my brain space because I feel like there's just a million things going on in my head at one time, and I need the clarity back because it's driving me nuts. So I think that is going to be our main focus for this year, is just to go back and finish up the projects, and then if we get to the living room, then we get to it. If not, then it'll be completely fine. We are running very low on groceries right now, and that is the perfect time to clean out the fridge. Every time that we get low on groceries, I try to wipe down the fridge and just get rid of anything that's out of date or anything like that. So that's what I'm doing today, and it just makes the perfect time to go ahead and get a grocery list together as well, because stuff gets pushed to the back of the fridge. That's like I didn't even know that we had 2 sour creams down here, and they just get pushed around and I forget that we even have them. So it just makes it super easy if I go through and clean everything and then make the grocery list. That way I'm not buying double or too much of something. Doing it this way really helps to eliminate waste, because that is one of my biggest pet peeves, is wasting food. I feel like every time I waste food, I'm just throwing away hard-earned money, and I'm not a fan. So I want to use everything in my fridge before it goes bad and put it to good use. You buy it for a reason. I don't want to waste it. And that's like, we had so many broths open this week. While we are low on groceries, I am also filming a video that has to do with what we eat whenever we're low on groceries or just from our pantry. So those broths will definitely be incorporated in that video because they need to be used up. This is the upstairs of our foyer, and ever since we took down our Christmas tree and Christmas decorations from up here, nothing has been up here. So today I wanted to clean it and take the time to just decorate this space, because we don't really use it, but I want to start using it. And something I love to do is read. So any downtime that I get, I love to just get a good book and get on the couch or wherever and just read a good book. So I wanted to create like a little cozy nook up here where I could read my books. This space still is not finished. You'll see in some of the coming up clips that the wallpaper up here is not finished. I still need to finish patching the plaster also up here, as well as downstairs, because it all has to make a full circle. So it kind of works in a spiral that all the wallpaper connects from the upstairs to the downstairs. So we have to finish up here before we can finish the downstairs, but it's just not been our priority yet. For us, we've been focusing on the pantry and then now that closet and that hallway in the kitchen. But I'm hoping that since moving some furniture up here and decorating a little bit, then we will see the space and live in it more, and that will kind of encourage us to work on it again. Because to be honest, I worked on this foyer pretty much by myself. The only thing that Ben could really do to help me was he carried the sander and sanded the upstairs portion of this floor for me. But other than that, I did all of it myself. Other than my mom helped me clean the trim and stuff. She did come over and help me do that. But I burnt myself out so bad because I worked a month straight on trying to get this space finished, and now it's not done, but I'm burnt out from it. So I need to just kind of slowly ease back into working on this so that we can finish this entryway, because it was a lot of work stripping the stairs and the floor and redoing the trim and stuff. But it's been worth it. But now we just need to finish the walls and then finish the ceiling as well, and then we would have a beautiful entryway that is completely finished. This chair and rug I took from our dining room. It was previously in the corner by the cabinet, and we used it, but not really as much as I would hope that we would use it in there, because there are so many other chairs. There's 8 chairs around the table. So every once in a while somebody would sit in this chair, but I would much rather have it up here, and then it adds a seating area up here. My mom gave me this plant stand years ago, and it was previously white on the bottom, but I thought it would just blend in too much with the marble. So I stripped it down and restained it. So now it is wood, and it actually matches our trim up here. And that was not even planned out. It just turned out to match our trim. But then this lamp I took from our living room. We didn't really use it, so I figured I would put it up here and it would add some lighting. I do have several pictures that I want to hang up here, but since this is wallpaper, I am so nervous to hang pictures. I don't want to make any permanent holes just yet, because I'm not sure what this space will be used for in the future. I'm sure it won't always be a little reading nook. So I want to use like command hooks or something like that, just not as permanent, before I hang pictures. So I need to pick some of those up so that I can hang some of the pictures and artwork up here. But that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe.